Okay, now today I've got a really exciting one in store for all of you because I am currently sitting inside the 2020 Toyota GR Supra GTS. This is the top of the range version of the all-new Mark V A90 Toyota Supra that we are getting here in Australia. And do you know, that's something I never thought I would ever be saying 4 years ago when I started out as a motoring journalist, that I was driving a new Toyota Supra. I thought, like so many classic names from this period of 90s Japanese cars, I never thought any of them would really make a resurrection, but the Supra has, and it wouldn't be without the help of, as you all know already, BMW. You see, making sports cars these days isn't really that profitable a thing because, well, no one's really buying them anymore. Everyone just wants SUVs. And so, as a result, car companies like Toyota feel the need to team up with other manufacturers in order to make these things. They did this with Subaru in making the 86 and BRZ, and obviously they've had to do it here by borrowing the platform from the BMW Z4. Now, while a lot of people have poo-pooed this decision, I'm totally okay with it. I've driven the new Z4, and you know what? I really like the way that thing drives. It's a great car, but I wanted a little bit more from it. I wanted it to be just that bit tighter, that bit more of a condensed, focused driver's car, a proper sports car. And that's what I'm hoping this Supra is. Now, if you do go out and buy one of these things, prepare yourself, because everyone's going to tell you, oh, it's just a BMW, it's just a BMW. And certainly there's a lot of BMW things in this interior. The steering wheel and the aircon controls are from older BMW, the last generation BMW stuff. Same with the iDrive system, that is also from the last generation of BMW things. The headlight controls, however, they are new generation BMW stuff, but that's about the only thing in here that I can actually spot that's shared with the Z4. Yes, there's a lot of BMW stuff in here, but the interior feels so different to the Z4 that, honestly, it feels like a different car. I don't just feel like I'm sitting in a Z4 with a different gauge cluster. But even though it feels like its own thing, it definitely feels like a BMW. And while a lot of people are going to go, oh, well, it's not a proper Toyota then, you do realise I'm saying it feels like a BMW. That's a bit of a compliment, to be honest, even if it does mean nicking everything from the BMW parts bin, even the indicator, which is on the wrong side for a Japanese car, although it is built in Austria, so it's not all that Japanese. Now, while I could sit here and go on about infotainment systems and the fact that the boot is actually a little bit larger than I was expecting it to be, although the opening to it is very small, I would rather go and do what I think all of you are actually wanting me to go and do, and that is take this thing out on the road. And that is why I am here in Warburton, surrounded by forests and with Reefton Spur at my disposal. One of the greatest driving roads in Australia, and one of my favourite driving roads, well, anywhere, quite frankly. So let's go and put this thing to the test, because I want to see just how well this thing drives, and I want to know, is it a proper driver's car, even if it isn't a proper Supra. You set off in this thing, I mean, you instantly get the impression that this is a proper sports car. It's so dialed in the way this car feels. I mean, the Z4 already is a stunning thing to drive. It felt really nimble and as tight as a convertible ever really could feel, to be honest. But this, the added structural rigidity of having a roof on top of it, oh, it's worked wonders on what was already a fantastic chassis. I mean, the handling, let's just start there. Because it's got such a short wheelbase but wide track width, it is really, really planted and really, really nimble. It just feels absolutely stunning, this thing. It turns in sharply. Just through there, it is so nice. And then there's the power, of course. I mean, it's got plenty of punch on tap. It is really exhilarating, this thing. I I'm in sport mode. The ride's a bit firm, especially on this road. So sorry if you do hear any rattling from the camera setup or anything. Not that I think you will over the sound of this exhaust. It does make a very nice noise. Now, of course, it's got the classic ZF 8-speed automatic that BMW uses in all of its models. It's a fantastic transmission, but it's a strong point of contention with this car. Everyone's going, oh, it needs a manual, it needs a manual. Well, I hate to break it to you, I don't really feel like I need a manual gearbox in this thing. This 8-speed is so good, as it is in most applications, but here especially. It's lightning fast. Absolutely lightning fast gear changes. Ready? That's like dual clutch quick. We're beyond torque converter status here. It feels pretty stable at the sort of speeds I'm driving right now, but you can tell that it's a twitchy thing underneath. I mean, when you're getting it off the line, wheel spin and feeling the rear end start to shake around a little bit is not uncommon. It's definitely a car you need to be aware of what you're doing while you're driving, that is for sure. It just feels great through here. Really, really punchy. The throttle response of this engine is pretty good. I mean, there's an initial little bit of turbo lag right off the line, but once you get into it, it just feels so solid. And I mean, even though you can tell it would be a little bit twitchy, perhaps at higher speeds, being a shorter wheelbase car, and I have heard some reports from people of them feeling a bit twitchy at high speeds. On normal roads like this, it does a great job, honestly. I'm not really feeling like it's going to step out at any point. I do very much have the traction control left on right now, I will say that much, but brakes are good. Needed them there. The ride is very rough though. I'm not even going to pretend like it's even half as smooth as the Z4 is. Especially in sport mode, it does really beat you around a bit. So I'll say, if you're expecting something really nice and smooth, this isn't it. But did you really expect that? No, you didn't. Because it's a sports car, and a proper sports car. You can just link these corners together so nicely. It changes direction really responsively. And I mean, this steering, it's very nicely weighted. It's definitely on the heavier side, especially in sport mode, but that is what you want when you're trying to fine-tune your line like you will be on a road like this. It gives you a real rush driving this thing. It's exhilarating. It's really exhilarating. I've driven a lot of cars along this road, and I mean, it's an exciting road first and foremost, there's no doubt about that, but few give you the rush this does. I mean, James May would call it the fizz, absolutely. And this car is, yeah, this is fizz-tastic, this thing, quite frankly. It gets your heart rate going, this car, it really does. And this is what driving's about for me. It's about feeling like you are one with the machine and being able to push it for all it's got. Being able to extract everything out of it, and you need a car that lets you do that, because not every car will let you get everything out of it, because there'll be something that lets it down. There won't be enough tyre, there won't be enough suspension, there won't be enough engine, whatever it might be. Even a crap gearbox can totally ruin a car. But I mean, along here, I'm a little bit in love with this thing, I'm not gonna lie. What I wanted out of this was a tighter Z4, one that felt more rigid, more stiff, and that's exactly what it is. But if you want to get more existential with it, what I wanted was a proper driver's car, and that's what I've got. I really like this thing. I really like it.